Hello and welcome to the 12th week of the Barclays Premier League, this being my review video, and really, we'll go straight, because there's no hanging about here, let's go straight to Merseyside, where the Merseyside derby took place at Goodison Park, and the final score there was Everton 3, Liverpool 3. This game was a highly entertaining game, arguably the best game so far, and there's been 120 games, or roughly that amount, in the Barclays Premier League, this being the best by a country mile. Really, most of the goals that occurred in this match was from set pieces. Both teams defensively, when they were trying to defend the set pieces, were really poor. I think both Brendan Rodgers and Roberto Martinez will really, in training this week, have an emphasis on defending the set pieces. And as usual in these types of fixtures, there was a lot of controversy. Luis Suarez, the tackle that he received from Kevin Morales, Morales did get booked, only a yellow card. In my opinion, should have been a red. Morales' studs went through the back of Suarez's leg and leaving him with a couple of gashes to his leg, and Morales, really, it's a breaker-leggable challenge, and he should have been sent off. Again, for Everton as well, their striker, on loan from Chelsea, Romelu Lukaku, got a brace, and as I said before, the controversy between Morales and Suarez. However, this fixture right here just highlights the Barclays Premier League. Fast action, a very open game, a lot of goals, and really poorish defending. And really, both teams should be actually very proud of the way that they held themselves accountable in this match, and I think that really it shows the full variety that you do get from Barclays Premier League fixture, and more specifically from a Merseyside derby. So I think both teams, in review of this game, will be very happy with a point. Moving on to the Emirates Stadium, where Arsenal took on flying Southampton, and the game finished Arsenal 2, Southampton 0. Now, don't let the scoreline fool you. It was a very difficult game for Arsenal. Olivier Giroud got a brace for the Gunners. However, both of the goals were really just gifted to him. The first one was arguably the worst goalkeeping error I've seen in a fairly long while by Artur Boruc. Just basically didn't want to clear the ball. Giroud kept on harassing him and eventually won the ball from Boruc, who still didn't want to clear the ball, and Giroud just found the back of the net. Also, the second goal was a late penalty that Mark Clattenburg correctly, might I add, picked up where the Southampton defender was pulling Per Mertesacker's shirt in the box, and clearly it's a penalty. It was a very difficult game for Arsenal. Again, as I said before, Southampton really fought hard. They pressed really high up the pitch, didn't let the Arsenal midfield have any time or space on the ball, and really harassed and pressed Arsenal all the way back to their defence. Southampton are a good team, however, on the day, they just lacked the bit of quality that Arsenal showed, and which is why they lost the game. Staying in London now, but moving to Craven Cottage, where Fulham took on Swansea, and the final score was Fulham 1, Swansea 2, and the misery really just continues for Fulham Football Club, its fans, and indeed Martin Jol. They did start off well. However, it was a lackluster opening. Both sides didn't really want to play. They just wanted to hit each other on the counter-attack. But Fulham was the more productive was the more productive team, and this culminated in Darren Bent, the striker who they've loaned out, who's a loanee. He had a couple of chances and he hit the woodwork, but still, Fulham are lacking that final quality in the final third. And in the start of the second half, Fulham just pushed, tried to get that winner, which was eventually awarded to John Joe Shelvey. But for Fulham and their fans, it was kind of unlucky. They had a couple of chances that they could have put away, but it's the same as their past results. They have been in games, but they just haven't had the quality, and I think that they're one of the favourites to really get relegated this season. The KC Stadium was held the Hull City versus Crystal Palace match, and the final score was surprisingly Hull City 0, Crystal Palace 1. That's right, Palace actually ended an 8-game winless run, and they actually started the brighter side. Balassi for Crystal Palace arguably was their best player. However, he did get red carded, but that somehow and unimaginably inspired Crystal Palace to kick on and get the winner, which eventually Barry Bannon did 2 minutes after Balassi got redded. Hull, they did create very little. In my preview video, I said that Hull are a better side at home. They are, but in this game, they just were very lackluster, and Steve Bruce admitted this himself. And as I said before, Barry Bannon punished them and gave Palace a crucial 3 points, which actually means that they're not on the bottom of the table as the current ladder stands. St James's Park was where Newcastle beat Norwich City 2-1, and yeah, you guessed it, Loic Remy scored. Again, it's 8 goals in 8 matches. Talk about a striker in form there. And for Newcastle, it's 3 matches in a row that they've won in the past 19 months. So really, Alan Pardew's side getting a bit of a run on here, and they could be a dark horse to get a Europa League spot or be in the top 6. For Norwich, things are looking miserable for them. That's 1 victory in their past 6 games, and really Chris Hughton, his job's is questionable, and some of his players really aren't actually showing the fighting spirit that Norwich sides have shown in the past. However, that being said, this game was really dominated by Newcastle in the first half. They scored both goals, I think, within half an hour, and really, I think Pardew must have said, okay, at halftime, we'll just drop a bit deeper, let Norwich play in front of us, make sure everything is in front of us, and we'll just get the win. And that's exactly what they did. Norwich did eventually score in the 81st minute. Leroy Fer, cracking header, must say. But again, like Norwich and like a couple of their results earlier in this season, it was too little too late. Moving on to the Britannia, where Stoke actually beat Sunderland, surprise, surprise. It was Stoke City 2, Sunderland 0, and the win moves Stoke 3 points away from the relegation, so very good for Mark Hughes and his boys. And for Sunderland, dismal looking, they're actually last. However, Stoke City, again under Mark Hughes, playing the possession-based game, and they really dominated and possessed most of the first half. And this was really culminated through Charlie Adam and Stefan Nzonzi. However, that being said, in the second half, Sunderland did come out. Gus Poyet must have really motivated and fired up his boys at halftime. And as the second half progressed, Sunderland really grew. However, that allowed Stoke to hit them on the counter-attack, and which sealed the victory through the second goal, courtesy of Stefan Nzonzi. However, this game, it wasn't really about the result. It was more about Wes Brown, the Sunderland centre-back, getting wrongly sent off. Now, he made a perfect tackle, in my opinion, won the ball from Charlie Adam, and made no contact with Adam at all, and the ref just looked around, saw Charlie Adam go on the floor, and wrongly sent off Wes Brown a straight red card. However, good news for Sunderland fans, I think they are going to appeal it. Whether or not they actually win that appeal, time will tell. But apart from that, Sunderland not looking the best for them. Going back into London, and a London derby here of sorts, where West Ham took on Chelsea, and the game finished West Ham 0, Chelsea 3. And Frank Lampard, he scored a brace, and he ended 10 games without a goal. However, it was a brace against his former side, so maybe just rubbing a little more salt into the wounds there. And for Chelsea, it was their first win in 3 matches, so Jose Mourinho and his side getting back to winning ways. However, that being said, West Ham did give Chelsea the opening goal, but Chelsea did dominate the possession, as you would assume. West Ham did have the main chance to score. I think it was Diame cutting in and taking on about 3 Chelsea players, running along the byline and putting an awesome ball into the box, but I think it was Maega just actually managed to miss the most glorious opportunity for West Ham to get back into the game. And after that, it was really Chelsea's for the win. They look very comfortable, and for West Ham, they shouldn't be looking comfortable at all because they're only 1 point from the relegation zone. We'll go to Sunday's games, and so this is arguably one of the biggest shockers in Tottenham Hotspur history. At the Etihad Stadium, Man City thrashed and thumped Tottenham 6-0. City are unbeaten at home, and again, they got off to the best start ever with Jesus Navas scoring within 15 seconds. It was the joint quickest Premier League goal in the history, and after that, they really just dominated. Tottenham didn't have any answers. Andre Villas-Boas tried to change the formation from 4-2-3-1 to 4-4-2, and all that did was create an extra man in the midfield for Manuel Pellegrini's side, and from midfield on, they just dominated. Tottenham, coming from an Arsenal fan, look, I don't think they've gelled well. Their signings like Lamela bought for 30 million, Soldado bought for 26 million. I don't think they've done enough, and they've just looked lackluster. And really, this game just identified that they don't have a leader on the pitch. When things are going like really south very fast, you look around that Tottenham team, they're all very talented, but there's no leader. And they need to resolve that situation very quickly. As quick as next week, because in fact they're hosting Manchester United. So Andre Villas-Boas, better do his job correctly for the Tottenham Hotspur fans' support. Going on to Wales, where Cardiff took on Manchester United, and the final score was Cardiff 2, Manchester United 2. Now, this was a very interesting game here. The most controversial decision here was whether Wayne Rooney should have got sent off. Now, it was kind of a challenge where I think the Cardiff City man kind of shielded Wayne Rooney from the ball. Rooney obviously didn't like that. Kind of like, they had a bit of a tussle, and then Rooney most definitely went for a kick to can't remember the Cardiff player, to the Cardiff player's body. The ref just deemed that a bookable offence, but only a yellow card. However, in my opinion, it probably should have been a red, and this hurt Cardiff even more because it was Wayne Rooney who did score the opening goal. However, after that, Cardiff grew, and as always, Malky Mackay's men were dangerous on set pieces, and it was a set piece that actually gave Cardiff the equaliser through Kim. It was a late header, but for Cardiff's sake, it was a well-deserved point for them. I mean, they didn't play poorly. Manchester United, again, a bit unsure on where they sit with Moyes and some of their players. But really, Manchester United are always going to be up there. How far up there can they actually reach this season? Time will only tell. But again, they've got a crucial game with Tottenham Hotspur next week. I believe it to be at White Hart Lane. So that'll be an interesting fixture next week. The final game was West Bromwich Albion taking on Aston Villa at the Hawthorns, and again, this game finished 2-2. West Bromwich got off to a flying start. Shane Long got 2 early goals, and however, West Bromwich could have had more, but if Stefan Sessegnon couldn't really convert his chances, and Villa they showed glimpses here and there that they could score. However, really in the second half, they did claw their way back into the game. And they got Paul Lambert a really crucial away point. However, the most interesting stat about this game is over the 4 previous meetings between these two sides, they've all been draws. So if you're a Bromwich and a Villa supporter and you're going to be playing each other, you're going to probably expect a draw, expect a share of the points, because that was exactly how this game panned out. So that is my review, and those are the final scores from the 12th week of the Barclays Premier League. Again, I hope your team won. I hope your team played some exciting, attractive football. I know mine did, and I'll see you guys very soon or next week for my preview of the 13th week in the Barclays Premier League. Stay safe. Thank you very much, and goodbye.